Right. Good evening, everybody. So good to have every one of us here. My name is Jan Deniji, and I am the representative for the Incubator Nigeria. And I really want to welcome you all to the live info session for the Future Clan, a digital program organized by the RCCG Continent 3 in conjunction with the Incubator Nigeria. Super excited to be here this evening. And I would like us to please introduce ourselves because I have with me, an amazing organization who has always been part of the success for the Future Clan Bootcamp, the name Macintosh Consulting. So good evening. I would like us to introduce ourselves starting from Mirabel. Good evening, Mirabel. Please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mirabel, and I am a sales and executive. So, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
good.
I am representing the sales team and sales and marketing executive of Macintosh Consulting.
All right. Thank you so much, Mirabel. I look forward to an amazing conversation together. Let's please,
Yeah.
Chidima, please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chidimande Wedim, and I'm the Client Relationship Manager of Macintosh Consulting. It's good to be here.
All right. So thank you so much,
All
Chidima.
right,
I
good
would
afternoon,
appreciate
everyone.
if,
My name is
yeah,
Olamide, and I'm a cloud practitioner.
oh, awesome. Olam, nice to have you here. So for us to have an amazing conversation together, I would like to request that Chidima, you please speak out a bit louder because I was literally straining my ears to hear you clearly so that we don't miss out on any pivotal information you have for us today. Right. So I think that's clear. So now talking about tech generally, we are in a generation where tech is one of the sacrosanct things we need to, be educated about, and basically also having a full understanding that the tech-driven world is basically a world that is leading. Technology has come to stay, and that is one of the major things that not just triggered, but also made it, important for us to put this kind of events together for every young folks out there. So, which boils down to the first question I would like to ask you, and I would like Mirabel to please answer the question. How do you feel about partnering with the Incubator Nigeria as regards to this project? Mirabel, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, so I'm sure you didn't get the question I asked.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Let me just come again. So I said that we are in a tech-driven world right now, and basically, when it comes to tech, it is something that has come to stay and has been a global and effective impact in our world that we are right now. So, which boils down to the first question I would like to ask you: how do you feel partnering with the Incubator Nigeria on this project?
I'm very happy to be partnering with you because this is like it's going to create an awareness that we exist, though we know that the economy that we have now is really hectic, and this is like an opening part for people who don't know about tech, because some people still believe that tech is something that we just just is something that is just ordinary skill that you just acquire. But no, we are transitioning into a technology world, and we believe that this is also another part of eradicating the poverty that exists. So I
Mm.
feel thrilled. I feel happy that this is like a platform that can help a lot of people, a lot of youths today.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Now, you spoke about eradication of poverty. Do you think
Yeah.
technology is like the right tool? Not, I mean, one of the most important tools that can eradicate poverty in our world that we are right now. What's your view about it?
My view about it is actually going to help because when we talk about the business part of the world where we do buying and selling, a lot of people are not really buying now. So we're looking for how to get capital, get funds from every other source of income. So you having a skill in tech is like opening paths for you to have your source of income from other parts of the world, not just Africa alone. You get to have people from other continents to work with you, even better opportunities where you can even travel and go for those businesses and tech skills and so on and so forth.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And I would agree with you because you just said something that seems rather intriguing right now. And it is the fact that we are now in an actualization of understanding that poverty can end if we have the right knowledge about it, right? And
Yeah,
technology has come to be like a driving force for it in eradication of poverty. Thank you so much,
yeah.
Marabel. So, Chidima, I would like to ask you, what are your thoughts, right? What are your thoughts on the upcoming project and the potential impact it will have in this world that we have? Your thought on the upcoming project and the potential impact it will have in this world that we are.
Thank you very much for that amazing question. Um, generally the world is going global, and so many companies are going to the cloud.
Hmm,
So, and many people, there is no need having to be carrying documents around, just like we have so many files all piled up. So now you can just save your documents on the cloud, and anywhere you can access it. So AWS generally has made it so easier for everyone to go to the cloud, save your documents. You can be in your comfort zone and
right.
access your documents instead of having to be
Hmm,
carrying so much files around. And at the end of the day, probably while walking on the road or something, you misplace the file, you can no longer access it.
hmm,
And as we know also that AWS now is one of the most highest paying jobs now. So definitely anyone that goes through this training will not have difficulty looking for jobs,
hmm,
because as companies now are already looking out for people to work for them, like AWS professionals to join them. And technology can never go out of shape. You know that the technology has come to stay, so we have to embrace it with our full chest. You understand? So if anyone at the end of the day, the people that will be doing these trainings, I assure them that they will be having a great impact. Where, just like my colleague said, it is elevating, removing poverty generally. Apart from poverty, you know that you're also learning. Apart from just removing the poverty in there, you're also learning from your own end, and knowing that you can even work remotely. Technology now is you have to sit in your comfort zone and be accessing
hmm.
your laptop, not where you have to be struggling with the bosses around and all that. So it's a great one. I know that at the end of the training, our students will definitely have reasons to be a part of this AWS cloud computing trainings. Thank you.
Hmm. Awesome, awesome. That was good. That was good. Thank you so much, Chidima. I mean, now I like the angle you're coming from. Would you say that education, going to university is not enough to get to a job? Do I have to still think globally or think in the technology way? I like the way Mirabel is laughing. So, do you think education is not enough to get us a job as a young folk?
Let me be realistic. Let me be realistic. In Nigeria generally now, if you don't have a certificate to your name, you cannot get a good paying job. Let me use good paying job. You understand? So education have to come first. I know that the the system has made it whereby people go to school, and at the end of the day when they come out they don't get job on time. You understand? But it is always good for one to have education and learn a skill also, so that when one of them comes, or one can even it can even open better opportunities for you. You might not even know that maybe that certificate you've been keeping all these years can give you or grant you a good job that you can never forget in your life. You understand? So I believe that education too helps to help people in their sense of reasoning. There is a difference
Hmm,
when one goes to school and when one doesn't go to school. That's why we call them illiterate. You understand? There is a
hmm,
difference
that's
because
right.
when they come in the midst of so many people, they get to share different ideas or different opinions. Then they get to know that, oh, that kind of idea or mindset I have is quite different from this person. You understand my
Mm.
point? So, education is the best. In fact, it's the key to everlasting life. Let me use that word. You get? So it means you just need to go to the school, secure that bag while learning a soft skill. Because I know so many people that have they are done with school for 3 to 4 years. There is no job, but they learned a particular skill, and at the end of the day, when companies are employing you, they are asking you for your certificates.
Mm. Mm.
You understand? Generally,
Yeah,
Lagos now, for example, you cannot you cannot be in Lagos and you want to be earning substantial amount of money to pay bills, to pay NEPA bill, to pay one or two things, utility bills and the rest, without having a certificate to your name, because they will keep
mm.
paying you peanuts, you know. But with education, you are hopeful that even if you don't get um, a particular maybe job for now, but you are hopeful that the pay will not be that much, but you are hopeful that something good can actually come out of it. So that's what I think. So education is still the best. If you have the opportunity to acquire education, go ahead and do it, because you don't know the one that can open doors for you. And if you still have the opportunity to get any skills, please grab it. Grab the opportunity, because you don't know where one can favor you from. You understand?
That's right.
So
That's right.
yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chidima. Thank you so much. I mean, when you were speaking, I mean, it was more like you were speaking from experience. I was going to ask, but I think I shouldn't go that route. I was going to ask that Nigerian universities or the university you went to showed you maybe like Shege, and you had to like go into a tech skill. But that was absolutely correct. I mean, I would agree and attest to everything you said, and the fact that you were able to bring everything together and make it succinct for us makes it clear that education is more like a tool that brings you into a realization of what you can do. Right? It helps you in your decision making, coming from a perspective that you are educated as well. Thank you so much, Chidima. So, Olamide, I'd like to hear from you. Talking about Macintosh, right? Do you think, or how do you think this project fits into your overall goal? Talking about Macintosh, how do you see this project to fit in into your overall goal? Because I mean, for you to be a partner and part of the success story for Future Clan Bootcamp, I'm sure that it has, a level of impact on your overall goal as an organization. So, how do you think about
All right, thank you very much. So for Macintosh has been running for the past decades. Macintosh is currently the number one AWS partner in Nigeria. And coming
it?
to talk about this, why Macintosh has to be on this platform is because we have actually delivered for years now currently. So we found out that this cloud computing itself, it's a technology that's come to stay, just like my colleague has said. Now, when it comes to cloud computing, at Marketers Consulting, we're breaking down all the quantum of cloud computing. Now, we decide that, okay,
Mm.
for everyone who will come into this technology, we have the right skills, we have the right facilitators who will understand this technology perfectly. So, during the course of the 3 days virtual training, we're able to now go through the basics of AWS cloud computing. So, we've come to understand that currently, if you're going to use
All right, so I'm sure, I think Olamide has a bit of network issues at the moment. Yeah. So, Mirabel, please, could you pick up from where we're talking? All right, thank you.
Sorry about the obstruction. Yes,
Oh,
you
that's
can
fine.
just sit down.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. He's here with you. Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
All right.
sorry, had the breaking transmission.
No problem. Let's
So
let's do
currently,
this.
just like I was saying, we've had experiences in cloud computing technology. So we understand that for any business that's coming out today or any organization, they actually want to save costs in running every of their process in the organization. So we found out that instead of organizations going ahead to use physical servers and all that, yeah, our marketers
Mm.
consulting, we found out that virtual servers actually pay more than installing a physical server. Now, let me take you through it. Installing a physical server means you're going to be running the cost to power it, you're going to run the maintenance cost, the cost to upgrade it, and also security, because these are high paid technologies. So we need to secure these things. So now looking at the cost to run a physical server is going to be very, very, very expensive. So Macintosh has brought out this solution to the world that you actually don't need to go through the stress of ordering these physical servers from outside the country, and to get a network engineer to come and install it and make it running. You don't need to go through all this stress. And we found out that you can easily just go into the AWS cloud computing and order these virtual servers within minutes. And during the 3 days virtual trainings, I opened to the students how you can just launch an EC2 instance within 2 minutes. In fact, less than, if you have a very good speed with experience and all that, you should be able to launch an EC2 instance within 2 seconds or 3 seconds. So looking at that now,
Wow.
running a physical server, which will take you about a month, 3 months, or 4 months, depending on how these resources get down to you, and comparing to a virtual server, which you can run within 1 minute. So we found out that this technologies actually comes in place and it has come to stay, and it's actually helping a lot of businesses. Now, applications and websites or different products from mobile businesses are running currently on AWS. So we are Macintosh Consulting. We understand that for every business to strive now in this technological world, you have to go virtual. So we
Yeah,
understand that
that's
you
right.
don't need to actually now go through the process of getting a physical server, installing it, getting cost of maintenance, security, and getting all this together. So we found that the virtual fast server is the goal, and it has come to stay. So currently, we have come to the concept on the understanding that AWS has more to offer than the world is as seen currently. So we just did a little basics during the 3 days training, and everybody was wowed. Now I'm putting it to you on this live that we have more to offer from AWS. So we're
Okay.
going to get that when we get to the physical training, and we're going to unveil all the mysteries cloud computing has to offer everyone in general. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. Awesome. I like the way you're throwing it to me. You say putting it to me, and I like that energy. I love the energy. So that means that we should look forward to much more insight during the physical class, which is going to start
Exactly.
next week, right? Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is an avenue for us to be able to realize that AWS has come to stay and
Yeah.
has a global impact, in the years to come, basically. So it's not something that would probably after 2, 3 years you feel like, oh, this is not really relevant anymore. But then you
Nah,
gave
that's supposed to stay.
insights to it already. That's good. That's a good one. So, Chidima, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. So Chidima, could you give us a brief overview of what cloud computing is all about?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. However, you know that because as I mentioned earlier, that so many people are going to the cloud. When we talk about cloud, people thinking maybe it's heaven,
It's
but
the
it's
cloud up
not
here.
heaven. So the cloud is AWS made it easier that
Mm,
people don't have to be carrying documents around. Like I'm using myself for an example. Most times I might not be in the office physically, but I can access any of my documents in the cloud because I have saved them already on my cloud that is already on my own laptop. You get my point? So AWS now has come to stay in the way that
We
we
don't
don't
have
have
to
to
be
be
carrying
carrying documents all over
documents
the
all over
place.
the place.
You understand
You
my
understand my
point? So
point? So,
for my
for
own
my own
summary,
summary,
AWS
AWS
is
is
like
like
having
having
to
to
save
save
documents
documents
or
or keep so many things that you can access at your own end.
mm.
Okay.
So that's just basically what I understand about the cloud itself.
All
All
right.
right.
Let
So
me
thank
come
you,
here
Chidima.
also.
I was about to throw the same question to Olamide because I mean you are giving me the energy, and I realized that you are one of the
Yeah.
facilitators during the virtual class as well. So please, the floor is yours.
All right. So cloud computing basically means the on-demand delivery of IT resources, and application through the internet. So during the course of training, we asked about what cloud computing is. Now, a lot of people have this understanding that cloud computing generally just means we saving files on our Google Drive and all that.
Mm.
Yes, it's part of it. Yeah, basically that's just the basic meaning. But now when we talk about cloud computing, that's gone more advanced than just you just storing on the cloud alone. Now, if you come back to the definition I said cloud computing is an on-demand delivery of IT resources and
Mm.
application through the internet. Now, let's break it down. On-demand means that it is available at any time you need it. It's available 99.9%. Now, IT
Mm.
resources can be IoT, Internet of Things, it can be AI, it can be applications, it can be websites, it can be anything literally that is in the technological world. Cloud computing has gone as far as I don't need to use Visual Studio Code to write lines of code and build a website. I can easily just go into AWS, build my website from scratch, and deploy it on the internet. Do you understand?
Mm.
So it has gone as far as we building applications, creating AI apps, building websites, and making forms in the cloud. So it's generally just telling you that we are no longer going to be giving you access to other applications. You just come into AWS. Everything you need to run your business, MS Word. We have an application, we have a service on AWS. AWS has over 200 plus services. You can run
Wow.
AI on AWS. You can also develop your application on AWS. You can deploy your applications on AWS. Companies that are currently running on physical servers can migrate all their resources, their database system, their applications straight into the cloud. And that's where we have
Mm.
the AWS migration. So cloud computing has gone as far as not just storing on the cloud alone. You can also access IT resources and application. Now it is through the internet. Because imagine AWS telling you that they have their physical servers, which you can run virtually. So now how do we connect to these physical servers AWS has? That's through the internet. That is where the virtualizer comes in. So AWS can have their physical resources, their server far away, as far as probably in Europe or Asia. And we are currently here in Nigeria using their services. So that is where through the internet comes through. So they provide these services and they make it available to us through the internet. So basically, it's just accessing IT resources, any IT resources. So it is not limited, it is broad. So IT resources and application through the internet.
All right. So, Olamide, would you
Yeah.
say that would you say that one of the generic saying in the tech world is that AI has come to take the jobs of many folks? Do you think AI can take the job of a cloud computer? Someone who is into cloud computing, rather.
Okay, I'll no, I will not 100% agree with that. You
Okay,
understand?
like
I
how
won't
many percent would you
100%.
agree?
Yeah, we know AI is coming after not just even cloud computing professionals. Everybody, AI is coming for your job. Do you get? Even the person who even set up this stream, person who set this stream said AI is coming for your job because it's just about script. But now this is
Is
where
that
it
meant to be
comes
a
in
prophecy,
because
by the way?
sorry, what did you say?
Is that meant to be a prophecy? I bet you it will not be fulfilled.
Let us go into that here. Let us go into that here. So I
All
would
right, please go
agree
ahead.
100%. I would agree 100% because what makes me different from AI is I can actually just diversify. You
Mm.
understand? So AI, AI is as in scripted or it follows through algorithms, and those things has been listed in the AI just to follow those rules. But me as a cloud computing engineer or as a cloud professional, if I want to deploy a particular application on AWS, I can use different services. Now, what going to differ or make a difference between me and an AI is how I think. Now, the way an
Mm.
human is going to think is different from the way an AI is going to think. You understand that? Because AI thinks with its own algorithm and the script that have been embedded in that particular system. So I'm not controlled by scripts. I'm not controlled by algorithm. So I can use my own human intelligence to diversify because I understand how the cloud computing works. Yes, we can say AI is very intelligent. Yes, artificial
Mm.
intelligence. Yes, but don't
That guy is
forget that
intelligent.
they have algorithms they go through. These guys have scripts they follow. So coming to the cloud computing, yes, we have scripts we put on AWS or most of our virtual machines. But what differs between me and AI is just the way we think. And so our deployment model is going to be different because an AI might not understand there was a scenario we created in class where we're talking about old IT resources. Now, an
mm,
AI might probably not understand that the cloud computing get advanced every day, right? I know that also the people who created the AI to also be updating their system. But don't forget
mm.
that I also understand perfectly how this things work as a human. So I won't say AI can take my job fully. I won't go to agree with that 100% because the way an artificial intelligence system is going to think is actually different from how I'm going to do my deployment and I'm going to access my applications on AWS. So I won't
That's
say
right.
100%, but I know AI is coming, and that is why we as Ubans we are not sleeping.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please, can I talk to Mirabel?
Mirabel,
Can
yeah,
I
she's
talk to
here with me.
Mirabel? All right,
Okay.
Mirabel. So, Mirabel, I'm sure that what Olamide has been saying. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. So, Mirabel, what do you think is the effect of cloud computing in our present world and the future?
Okay, the effect is, if I would say, it will make everything relationship between everybody be very fast, in the sense that, and probably create advancements. For example, look at the advanced countries we are today in comparison with Nigeria. You can see that there are some jobs that are just hanging there, where you see that these people might not even really be doing anything, but they just get paid. For example, just sitting in an office, always arranging files, cross checking files. You even hear where people say that their files are missing. Like, imagine having in going to a hospital, and you're trying to check if they want to check your history, your health history from so time to so time, the amount of
Mm,
years you've lived, and only for you to discover that you can't find the file. So I feel like
mm,
this would be like a problem solver over time in all fields, be it medical line, be it as long as you are inputting information, or as long as you are trying to carry one information to another, it will make everything look fast. Everything will be fast. Movement of information will be fast, and also will be very secured. For example,
mm,
imagine you are in a company, even if you are running your businesses very well, and just discover that you have a missing information concerning your funds, concerning the
mm,
finance, and you be like, is somebody is in charge of imputing your finances? Why do you have someone have to be in charge of keeping all records, when you know you can just access your records if they are in the cloud? So with this cloud computing, I feel like the country would advance, the whole world would advance. I feel like if even you want to travel, you can actually move your company. Like now everything looks kind of static. You cannot just move on from one place to another. You cannot just transfer your company from one place to another, because you have to be moving things. But with time, you can be anywhere running your company. I feel like the
mm.
world will be a
Great.
better place. Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much, Mirabel. I mean, that was
Thank
profound
you.
enough. Thank you so much. So, Chidima, are you here with us?
Yes,
Chidima, are you here with us?
yes, I am.
All right. So while we are waiting for Chidima, Olamide, let me throw this
Yeah.
question to you. Let me throw this
Okay.
question to you. So, why did you probably think that the best tech skill you would have learned is cloud computing? I mean, this should be like
What can you
more
say?
like a watchword one, and probably word of encouragement to all our students who are taking this course and they are ready to go into cloud computing. So, from your own personal experience, why do you think cloud computing is it?
Okay. One of the major reasons why I dived into cloud computing, um, basically for me, I've loved to work with a lot of people because when I was going to the tech field, I wanted a skill that could make me communicate with different techies, like the software engineers, the UI UX, the product manager. So I wanted a skill whereby I won't just stand alone. I'll take you to the aspect of probably maybe a graphic designer who would just want to like probably maybe create a flyer or something. Might not really have much to communicate to them. But me as a cloud practitioner, if you are coming to me as a client or a company, a business that you want to communicate with, yes. So one thing I need to know is I need to understand, or I need to meet with the software engineer. I need to meet with the product manager, the product manager. So it creates a team workforce for you, and it makes you enjoy your skill better. So in the point of me deploying an
Are you with me? Seems like the network is a bit fluctuating. All right, I think Olamide is not here. Chidima, are you with me? All right, so Chidima is not here as well. So I mean, this is very profound. The fact that Olamide has been. All right, Chidima is back. Thank you, Chidima. Are you with me, Chidima?
Yes, I am.
All right, awesome. So Olamide was talking about his own personal experience, in taking
Yeah.
the cloud computing as a skill in the tech space, right? And I'm sure that you also are in the same light. So for you, what not a personal experience right now, but then why do you think the student has taken the right choice when it comes to picking this skill and also knowing about it?
Okay. Thank you once again for the question. You know, over time, technology people has not really understand what technology is all about because so many people are like, technology is so techy. But AWS came in, they decided that what can they do differently? So they now came up with the AWS cloud computing.
Mm.
So they had to now penetrate into the Nigerian market, and coupled with the fact that it's one of the hot cake now. When I mean hot cake, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get
So
it. I get it.
yeah, so I it's a good thing to learn. Just like I mentioned earlier, that technology can never go out of shape. It has come to stay, and I always encourage people that when they have the opportunity to learn any tech skill, please do.
Mm,
They should do, because it will fetch them a whole lot of money.
mm, mhm,
You understand? It will fetch them, because I know of people that have gotten so many offers from here in Nigeria. They just got a remote job, and sorry, I mean they got a remote job while working in Nigeria from their end, and after the company prepared like a visa for them to travel over the seas, and they are doing so well. We know we've trained, not, I'm not just talking out of point, and I mean I know people that have trained under, or some people, my client that have registered, that so many of them are in Canada, UK, US, and they are making it. So you generally, this particular AWS open doors for greater opportunities. Apart from AWS, I mean tech generally opens doors to greater opportunities that you can never imagine. So imagine if someone that you've not been to the UK or US before, and you got a remote job here, and tomorrow God answers your prayer. You, you now you got a visa to travel over the seas, and you are carrying all your families, and then that
mm.
means you've even, your leg has already landed in America. So you see that generally you open doors to great opportunities. AWS open doors to great opportunities because it is the newest tech in the industry now. So many people wants to
Ah,
go into it and know that, oh, and wants to know what is AWS about. What is AWS about? Just like my colleague Annabelle, Mirabel said earlier, these days now you go to schools and you are seeing missing scripts.
mm,
Students are having challenges of, my lecturer did not mark my script. Why? But if they went to the cloud to save most of these documents,
mm,
you won't be having missing script, or even missing results, or even in hospitals where a client will come, you don't need to start looking out for files and start saying what is
mm,
your name. Just go to your system and type so person's name, and it has appeared. You just see all the details of that person listed on it. So I think it's not thinking, it's something I know that AWS, it will open doors of great opportunities for them, and tech generally, they should go ahead and do it. Anyone I see, I preach tech to them. Not about just, I know that the it's a very expensive course. We know tech too is very expensive. But if you have the
mm.
opportunity, you can save, or while paying for instrumental payments to give it a trial, and you see
Oh,
you be at the top. Thank you very much.
thank you so much, Chidima, for that. I mean, that was amazing. But do you know one thing that struck me in what you were saying, talking about the papers and all of these stuff, and I just came to a conclusion that how would it be, or how sweet would it be that our universities in Nigeria can come into the realization that cloud computing would solve a lot of problems. I don't know if you guys can, agree with what I'm saying. Well, back in those days we were in university. Remember the days when you were in 100 level and you would have to maybe submit maybe like a reference letter, for example, or a file that has to do with you being a student, and they want to look for your file. Maybe you have a missing script. You would have to go to the store of your department and you start searching for script, paper.
Yeah.
Cloud computing can also be brought into the educational system of Nigeria. I'm sure that it will solve a lot of problems for us. Olamide, am I saying the right thing? Are you agree with what I'm
Definitely,
saying?
Nice.
I think
100%.
it's
Yeah, even
I think it
NYC
can be the
when you go
change
to
Nigeria
NYC
universities
when you
want.
go for CDS, when you go for CDS, start looking for your file up and down. So
Ah,
it's
my God.
actually crazy.
But
Yeah.
that's
So
profound. Thank you so much again, Chidivan. So Olamide, you were saying something before. I'm sure you've not lost
yeah,
your train of thought.
yeah. So I got cut off. So one thing I said is it gives you an opportunity to meet a lot of tech professionals, right? And it also comes with its flexibility. Now, flexibility, what I'm talking about is I can be here in Nigeria and I can be working or communicating with anybody outside Nigeria. So what AWS has brought is, and what attracted me to AWS is global, means it is everywhere in the world. It's global. So I can be here in Nigeria and I can work with somebody in Canada. So I can deploy an application or website for somebody in Canada and I get paid in dollars. So the flexibility alone is I'm not just limited to getting a job in any part of the country. I can get a job anywhere in the world. So that alone attracted me also, like this flexibility is crazy, and also it gives you the remote joy about it. You can work remotely from anywhere. So imagine you working in Nigeria and my company is based in maybe US or Canada. That is how AWS like works and all that. And also one other thing that attracted me is when I got to understand, because at the beginning stage of learning cloud computing, I just thought cloud computing was just to store files and all that. But when I saw the other opportunities like AI, building AIs, building applications in AWS, and also you get to meet a lot of AWS professionals when it comes to AWS community builders and all that. That alone made me see how AWS stood out from Google Cloud and the other partners like Microsoft and the rest. So that was one of the major reasons that attracted me to AWS. The flexibility and the privilege to meet with a lot. Imagine a lot of professionals coming after you just because you want to deploy the applications, the software engineers, the product engineers, and you get to meet people. And what I've got to learn about meeting a lot of tech professionals is it has to your experience and it has to your knowledge, because a particular way a particular project manager might want his application to be deployed are different from another person. So imagine you working in your own experience, working with about 30 people deploying an application. You should have enough experience to stand in this ground. So that was one of the major reasons why I chose AWS cloud computing.
Hmm, that's great, profound. I mean, I'm giving you this. Thank you so much, Olamide. That was very, very profound. So Olamide,
Yeah,
I don't know if Mirabel too is here as well because I'd like to throw the question to Mirabel as well.
yeah,
Now,
Miracle
there
too.
was an experience for you personally. A couple of weeks
Okay.
ago, we had a couple of students that came on board Canva Instructure, and you were able to teach them what cloud computing is all about. You had a mixed class. When I say mixed class, we have the beginners, the intermediate, and the experts in
Yeah,
AWS. So the experience for you now, I'm sure that it would have hit you differently in the sense that you're also having a bigger number of students teaching them virtually and not even
yeah.
physically now. So how was the experience for you?
Okay. The experience so far was great, because yeah, I got to know that they were some experts on intermediates in the class. Because when we got to a particular piece, we were talking about deployment, and there was a particular guy that actually went ahead to explain some things, but he actually skipped some steps. So I could get that he had the knowledge, right? But the experience that it had to me was that it grounded me. Do you understand? Like,
Mm,
because in cloud computing, you have to know what you are doing. You don't have to skip steps. So there are actually, in fact, there are some students that will come in. They have the basics already, but they just want to like see what you can offer as a cloud professional. So I get to understand that a lot of people are actually going out to these skills, but some way or the other, they've skipped some steps. So the experience so far has actually been thrilling because I get to now understand that the basis of cloud computing, I've gotten it. So regardless of any deployment or anytime I find myself, I can always defend myself as an AWS cloud professional. So it was actually because I even learned some things from these guys. Do you understand? Because we are
Mm.
trying to use some
Even as a
scenarios, and
tutor.
at the point, yeah, at the point of you interacting with these guys, ideas will pop in, solutions was popping in, and the class was so sweet because they were just giving ideas, they were giving solutions, they were giving some questions, and it was not as if I was communicating with my teammates. I was not seeing them as students any longer. It was like I was communicating with my teammates because almost virtually everybody knows what we were doing. So the class was a very sweet one, and it actually added to my experience, honestly.
Oh, that's great. I mean, you would most likely or definitely have, much more experience in the physical class by the grace,
Yeah,
by the
I
grace
hope
of
so.
God.
I
Yes.
can't hold it.
Mirabel, experiences
Okay.
differs. I'm sure that you would not do a copy and paste of Olamide's experience. So Mirabel, for you, how was
Okay. First thing first, I would not say the same thing as Olamide, but everybody's not the same. Some people are actually new in the game. Some people are actually even having doubts, and they are probably questioning the training and all. So first, I'll say it's a good experience because I can say that it's not really easy to cope with like those situations where people are actually struggling to learn. Everybody learning capability is not the same, but I kind of like came down to their level and at the same time try to carry everybody along, even though I know that there are some people in the class or in the training who actually know what they are doing. Because we have fast learners though. We have people who would actually very fast, even ahead of, we used to have this kind of students in class that are always ahead of teachers. They've already done their own personal
Assignment.
research, assignment. They even come with some idea of like, wow, even if it's
it?
even as if me, I'm also getting an assignment for such trainees, So yeah, it's just for me to just maneuver and making sure that people are also catching up, making sure that nobody is left behind and all. So yeah, it's been a good one, I would say. Yeah.
That's great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Mirabel. That's great. So I want to give room for questions from our listeners. I want to give room for questions for our listeners. So I'll communicate the question right now. I'd like the technical team to help me address that at the moment so that we can have our listeners ask their questions. Do you have any question? All right. So while we are cracking that, Chidima, you're welcome. Good to see you again. So yes, I said that Mirabel experience was top notch. Olamide's experience was, amazing. So for you, how was your own experience? I like that smile.
Okay.
Okay.
Generally,
Olamide
Olamide
is
is
a
a
facilitator,
facilitator, and
and
me,
me,
I'm
I'm
just
just
a
a
client
client
relationship
relationship
manager.
manager.
Okay.
But
But
over
over
time
time,
and
and
how
how
I've
I've
been
been
selling
selling
my
my
product
product
to
to
my
my
clients
clients
and
and
who
who
have
have
been
been
coming
coming
in,
in,
I've
I've
been
been
following
following
up
up
with
with
them
them
as
as
well.
well.
I
I
get to
get to
understand
understand
that
that
it's a
it's a
very
very
good
good
course,
course,
and
and
everybody
everybody
needs
needs
to
to
go
go
into
into
it
it
generally.
generally.
Because
Because
when
when
I
I
read
read
the
the
benefits
benefits,
of AWS cloud computing, was the reason why I knew why people came all the way from outside the country to come and have the trainings here. I know of two of my delegates that came all the way from UK. One came in from Canada this year, as at 2 months ago, and he had to do both his AWS cloud computing and solutions architect. You know the reason why? Because they say to have a training there is so expensive, very very expensive. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you. Perfect.
Yeah. So it's a good course because it opens, just like I said, it opens doors to so many opportunities. And again, when you do the certification, when we are in Nigerian, as a Nigerian, when you have a global certification, you have this pride, I mean, should have bagged on you that Yes, I did an international certification and I passed.
Mm,
So just having to do both the certification course too helps to open those opportunity and put you on the face where people get to see you.
mm,
And again, I tell people it's not about just coming to do the training. I mean, what have you learned and what are you going to impart out there?
right.
There are
That's
people
right.
that are just coming to do the training and they don't even know the useful. People are just some people. Let me use some. They are just there after the money itself. They are not even after the impact they are going to make out there. And so that is why at the end of the day, they just have the training. If they don't utilize it or know the reasons why they are doing this training or they are going to this cloud computing, if you give them few months or years, it's already out, and then you will not even no longer see them in that tech space again because they are all rushing after the money.
Mm,
So I want people to look beyond money and put their mind that okay, this AWS, what do I want to impart apart from, just like my colleague Olamide has said earlier, AWS has made it that you can do so many things on AWS generally, not apart from the cloud computing where you have to be saving documents. So I just want people to just look beyond is giving money is the hot cake now, and everybody wants to make money. I know that Nigerian is smiling. I mean, Nigerian is so good at the moment, and everybody is rushing to the cloud now because of the money. But at the same time, I at the same time, I want us to still leave the money aside and look at what will be happening, the benefits you will see in the future. Just like they say, as you sow, you will reap. You are
oh
sowing now.
yes.
You are sowing now because it's just like when you're working in an organization, they believe that you should get, like, what impact are you going to create that people will remember you for? It's the same thing in tech. That's why I say tech has come to stay. It has come to stay, and we're not going to
Mm,
go out of it. So while you are learning it, what impact are you going to put in there that when you leave, or the people that are coming towards you or people that are following you will learn? It's just like the doctor. You see some fathers in the old days, you will see a man who will become a lawyer and tomorrow he wants his child to be a lawyer.
mm,
Just like that, it now becomes a trend. Tomorrow now, imagine if you are doing so well as a tech person, your children are already watching, the people around you are watching too, and to know, because they are seeing the impact you are imputing, they want to,
that's right.
like, what is this thing this person is doing, what is so special about this particular thing that this one is doing, that I want to learn as well. So I tell
Mm,
people to always
correct.
create an impact in life, not about the money, but create impact. Even money will come later, it can also come later as well, but at the same time leverage on the benefits, because if you
Okay.
put all your effort now, the benefit you will reap in the future, you won't even imagine it. It's like I see people who think you went to do jazz but they don't know that you've already paved ways for yourself. So I always
Thank
advise
you.
people to make sure you do the certification, not just about the training. I know that it's very
All right. Thank
can
you
you
so
hear
much,
me?
Chidima. Thank you. Yes, I can. I can.
Yeah,
I'm with
thank
you.
you.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
So
Chidima.
thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, Olamide, are you with me? I'm really enjoying this conversation right now. So, Olamide, AWS or software development, which is more demanding?
Hmm. AWS is more demanding because if you study or if you go after software engineering, right, it's actually evolved too, but AWS has an edge because after building that your software, you still come to AWS to come and deploy it. Do you
Hmm.
get? So that is why AWS is involved now. Cloud is everybody's migrating to the cloud, literally. So that is why it's involved. Most especially banks these days, organizations that have been running their applications on. Okay, let me give you a scenario. I
Okay.
painted that scenario in the class. Remember when there was during the election where we could not go to the banks to make transactions. So we're using mobile apps now. And if you, at some point, some bank app were misbehaving because they were running on their physical server. So at the point, they started running after cloud computing professionals to help them come and deploy the applications on AWS. Do you get? So now these days, AWS has gone as far as is an alt cake. So if you present to me software engineering and AWS cloud computing, I'm going to go for cloud computing. And looking at the period of time to learn software engineering, software engineering is not just front end. It means you're going to be learning front
Yes.
end. You're going to be a full stack engineer. So it might take you up to 6 to 8 months to be an expert on that field. But learning AWS, I can learn AWS in 5 days for AWS Cloud
Hmm.
Professional. After 5 days, I go for solution architect. That can take me about, let's say, maybe a week or 2 weeks to learn solution
Hmm.
architect. Then with how it now works is if you can work with a lot of projects, just use your foundational knowledge, which is the cloud computing professional and solution architect, and work on multiple projects. Within a month, you will be certified as an AWS professional. So it takes more time to learn software engineering than you going into cloud computing because it does not involve writing codes and all that. You know how long it takes for you to learn how to write a code. You need to understand it's a language. That's why it's called programming language. You must know how to speak it. Because at the point of me presenting an idea to you, probably be want to build a boat app, you must understand the language to write that code. So you need to understand, and it takes a lot of time to start understanding the language. So cloud computing has a better advantage over software engineering. So anytime, if you present to me, I'm going to go for AWS cloud computing. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Olamide. I'm sure that Ayo, who asked the question on IG, would have gotten a good answer to his question right now. Yeah. So Royal is asking on IG now. I think this there will be live sessions for each other skills. Yes, of course, we'll be having live sessions from today up until Saturday. So, by the grace of God, tomorrow we'll be having the cybersecurity and web development class by Utiva, the live session. Then on Thursday rather, we're having a copywriting, IG live. On Friday, we'll be having product design by Prime Startup, and of course, on Saturday, we'll be having data analysis class by the Incubator Nigeria. So make sure that 3 p.m. at West African time, you are live on Instagram. We'll be live as well. All our lecturers, our speakers, all the companies that will be teaching us one of this skill or the other will be live with us each day before the physical class commences on Sunday. So thank you so much, Olamide, for that wonderful question and answer rather. So Mirabel, I want to ask. I'm sure you're ready for this question. So now coming to the physical class, do you think there is which is more informative? I mean the virtual class or the physical class? Now the virtual class was a 3 day session of which Olamide was able to teach us a couple of topics under AWS. But for the physical class now, do you think our students should come much more prepared than the virtual class and why?
Well, it depends on this answer is not going to be only from my own perspective because some people will tell you, some students say that they prefer it being physical. That's how they, accommodate and assimilate very faster. And if you say you want to go virtual, people will tell you that they're having probably some internet downtime and the rest, so they're not really flowing well with the virtual class. So it's not on my side. It's the same thing from my own side. It's the same thing, be it physical, be it virtual. But it's the students that'll get or the client that'll get to decide which one is good for them. So it's actually the same thing from the way I'm going to like execute my teachings are going to be the same thing. Get to project my screen, that kind of thing. You share screen on the internet, but physically you're already seeing a big screen in front of you. You are with your laptop. If you have some challenges, I'm there to look at. Some people don't believe in coming physical. Just depend on the individual actually. If you're not a fast learner, maybe you should go for physical. If you're a fast learner, I feel like okay, this is something that you're already familiar with. Don't just go to the expert level. Doing it virtual is not going to be an issue. It depending on the individual. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? I can't hear you, but I don't know. My mic is not muted and my speaker is fine.
Chidima, can you hear me? We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear Chidima, so
I think this is downtime problem.
I think this one then because
Chidima, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Alright, I'm back. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes,
yeah,
we can.
Alright, apologies. I'm not sure I can hear Olamide and Mirabel at the moment. Please, could you say something?
yeah, we can hear you.
Alright. I'm not sure I can hear Olamide and Mirabel. I can hear you guys clearly. Alright. Oh, you can hear me, but I find it difficult to hear you at the moment. So, but then let's move further real quick because we have just a couple of minutes to end this live session. Thank you so much once again for joining. I really appreciate, and I'm definitely looking forward to even meeting you guys physically during the class, the live session, the physical class rather. Alright, so Olamide, first of all, let's start with you. Do you have any final thought or advice you would like to share with everyone watching us live at the moment? Then after Olamide, we have Mirabel, then Chidima will crown it all. So Olamide, do you have any final thoughts or advice you would like to share with everyone joining us on this live session?
Okay, what I would say is either be it you are going into cloud computing, be it you are going into software engineering, any tech skill at all. I'm bringing to the realization that learning the tech skill is also like you going to a school to get a discipline. I'm going to break it down. What I mean is you need to put in both your skills. Your skill set has to be high, and you have to be ready to learn and ready to like read more. Because getting to a school or getting to a place to learn a skill, and everybody just feel that's all. So I'm telling else that when you are coming to this training, come with the mindset that you are coming to learn, and also you're also going ahead to also improve yourself. So just come with a mindset that as you're coming to this tech field, you're coming to learn, and also you're going to put in your all, because tech is going to take a lot of time. It's going to take your social lives to an extent, because you have to be always available to provide resources as a tech, and that's why most times you don't find a lot of techies. We're always inside providing solutions you get. So it's going to take your time. So you have to be ready to sacrifice as a techie also. So majorly, I'm just going to say that when you're coming in, please just make sure you understand that you're coming to sacrifice a lot of things. And what I've enjoyed so far, what I try to tell of people that are coming is that your sacrifice will always pay. So please try to put in your all and learn. And I wish you all success at the end of this training.
Yes, your sacrifices would always pay. Thank you so much, Olamide. Alright, so Mirabel, you have the floor. Mirabel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Alright, please. Let's go ahead.
Okay, so one thing I would advise is whatever you are doing, whatever training you are giving, don't just be on that training level. Try and be innovative with your skill. Try and even upgrade yourself, because anything technology has upgrades. No matter the invention they do today, tomorrow there'll be an update. Tomorrow there'll always be an update, because that's what growth is all about. So even if you take the training, be innovative about it. Try and be imaginative, like you think about new ideas, how to move from where you are, how to become more advanced. Don't just settle for just the training. Do your research, keep moving and keep moving and keep pushing forward. And that's my advice.
That's a good motivation out there. And I think that was one of the motivations that was for you when you were coming into the tech skill as well.
So yeah, replicating the same the same advice to our students out there. Thank you so much, Mirabel. So Chidima, please let's have you.
It's been an awesome section. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you very much for this awesome session. It's great to be here. Thank you for this opportunity as well. So like myself and my colleagues have said earlier, in any place you find yourself, there's a reason for that. There's a reason why you're in a particular place. So when you have the opportunity to learn any tech skills, generally, please go ahead and learn it and put in your best. Bring down your head to learn as well, because it will pay. Most times now, these days now, people used to ask for experience, but you need to actually start from somewhere. You need to start from somewhere, because if you start something, you will finish well. You understand? So I like I said also, if they have opportunity to go for any certification in any of the skills they are learning, please they should go ahead too, because that one is another greater opportunities for them as well. So put in your best. Don't give up yet. So please, that's just basically what I have to say. That they should put in their best and do all they have to do and give it a try. Don't always write off something saying it's too tough. Just give it a try and see yourself aiming high. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chidima. That was succinct. So Richard, Richard is asking on Facebook with us. He just joined the conversation. Where do I start from? All right. So this live session will be recorded. You could check our Instagram, so you would get update on everything we have been able to discuss. So let me run through the last question. Please make a general clarification on the stages of the bootcamp and what we are doing. Don't worry, just make sure that you're part of the live session that will be happening from today up until Saturday. By the grace of God, tomorrow we'll be having Utiva, and we'll be talking about web development and cyber security. Then on Thursday, we have Aya Foster talking about copywriting. Then on Friday, we have Prime Startup. We're talking about Alright, that's good. Then of course on Saturday we'll be having data analysis, and we'll have Incubator NG come talk to us. So please make sure that you don't miss any of these days. Thank you so much to Macintosh for making sure that this is a success for us. And yes, please be reminded that this Future Clan training was organized by the RCCG Continent 3 and in conjunction with the Incubator Nigeria. So thank you so much, Mirabel. Thank you so much, Olamide. Thank you so much, Chidima, for being here to discuss with me. Tomorrow we go again. Mirabel just keep smiling. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So tomorrow we'll go again by the grace of God, and it's going to be an amazing time together. My name is Yanulu Adenichi, and I'm from the Incubator Nigeria. Thank you so much, everybody, and have an amazing time.